Hi, I'm Darlene and welcome back to my channel, Super at 60. Today I want to share with you guys a really fantastic over-the-top chocolate chip cookie, but it's just not like any other chocolate chip cookie. This is extra special. This is the copycat recipe of the very famous Crumbl, C-R-U-M-B-L bakeries, and they bake cookies like nobody's business, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today in your own kitchen. So stay tuned. I will show you the finest chocolate chip cookie you can possibly make and that you will want to eat and share. All right, we'll go ahead and begin with some nice soft butter. I always like to give it a beat first. And of course you can do this if you have a big stand mixer. You can do it in there as well. For some reason when I bake cookies, I really like to use, you know, smaller batch anyway. I like to use my hand mixer. Now it's not melted butter, it's just softened, that's all. All right, I'm gonna add half a cup of sugar to that. And then also we need, when you make chocolate chip cookies, you always need the white sugar and you need some brown sugar as well, just to soften it up. Makes that cookie so nice and soft. So I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup. So there's half. And here is about, that's about 3/4. All right, now let's get that all mixed up. When you're creaming butter and sugar, make sure that you always get, that you always take your time. Look how beautiful that is. It's so creamy. You could spread it on toast. That's the way, when they say cream your butter and your sugar together, that's what they're talking about. Don't skip out on this process because it makes all the difference in the world. All right, let's go ahead and put in 1 egg. And remember, again, this is just half of the recipe. And 3/4 tablespoon of vanilla. And of course, as always, I'm going to use my own. Splash that right in. And we'll mix that up again really well. All right, let's go ahead and put in the dry ingredients. And I need actually, in order to make this recipe half, I need to put in 2 1/8 cup of flour. And I'm just using all-purpose flour. Unbleached organic flour. So there's 1. And 2. And now 1/8. I just take about 1/4 of a cup and I just spill a little bit out and it should be just right. Very easy to do. That's my kind of math. I'm not kidding. All right, we'll just mix that up for just a second here because there are a few more dry ingredients to add, as I'm sure you were guessing. All right, 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. You need both of those to make a nice soft, kind of fluffy cookie, kind of crispy on the outside. The butter will help do that. And then the brown sugar, the soda, and the powder will help make it nice and soft and gooey, and that's exactly what we're going for here. And 1/2 of a teaspoon of salt. Now if you're using salted butter, you might want to cut back a little bit on the salt, but you know, it's okay. I'm going to share a little baking tip with you my grandmother gave me years ago. When you're making a dough, a cookie dough or something, you know, that has to come together, like crumbly, and then all of a sudden it comes together and it doesn't come together, it just stays a little bit on the dry side. And if there's an egg included, sometimes eggs can be different sizes. You might notice that when you open up a carton of eggs, it's like one is smaller than the rest of them or one is larger than the rest of them. You know, they can't be perfect. Usually they're like 0.5 ounce or something, I think, an egg. So sometimes if by some off chance you chose a smaller egg, that will make a difference in how your batter comes together. I'm finding that my batter is a little bit dry right now. I'm going to show you in just a second because I want you to see this. So Grandma says just add splashes of milk until it comes together. So I'm going to do it. I kind of do what Grandma says. Okay, when you're making chocolate chip cookies, it's very important to know what kind of chocolate chips you want to use. There are milk chocolate people, there are dark chocolate people, there are semi-sweet chocolate people, and everyone in between. There are all kinds of brands. There's your store brands to your most expensive brands. A lot of people make their chocolate chip cookies by buying a chocolate bar of the cocoa percentage that they like and chopping them up. Nothing wrong with that. However, it's not a Crumbl cookie. That's not what they use. They use, I'm going to show you here, they use the big. Can you see that? Maybe if I put it like that. Can you see? That is a big chocolate chip. That is a regular sized chocolate chip. Can you see? Not really clever for getting that out for you guys. Yeah, they're both semi-sweet because that's what I'm going to use today because that's what they use. And I'm going to use these big ones. I am, yes. So you use what you use though. Whatever you like will be just fine. But if you want the original Crumbl chocolate chip cookie, you will want the large Guittard. Is it Guittard? I'll put it up there for you, but I can't for the life of me. I don't speak French. I'm hoping that's French. Is that French? Oh gosh, maybe it's not. All right, these Crumbl cookies are so big. They make a very large cookie. Yeah, I had to put my hair up. It is so stinking hot in here today. It's hot outside, so the heat's off, the back door's open, and it is a beautiful, bright, sunny day here in Virginia, and I hope you're having a good day where you are too. Anyway, these cookies are big, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fit all of these 6 cookies because I have enough dough here for 6 cookies, and each cookie is gonna take a ½ cup scoop of cookie dough. We're gonna roll them into balls, and then we're gonna stick them into the oven. All right, so now the Crumb Trick. To get that crumbly look on top, you're just gonna take them, break them in half, just like that, and then stick them back together again, okay? And plop them right down. So take it, split it in half, put it together. See that crumbly stuff on top there versus the really, really soft? Big difference. That's what you want, okay? All right, the cookies are now in the oven. They are on 375 degrees. Generally it's 350, sometimes 325. These you want to have a little bit hotter because you do want a little bit of crisp around the sides, about the outside, but you do want them nice and soft and kind of gooey on the inside. So 375 seems to be the consensus of the best temperature for these cookies, so we'll see. Let's go back to that egg for a minute. Yeah, we talked about the size of the egg, and it really does make a difference. So if sometimes you wonder when you're putting a cake batter together or something and you wonder, well, why is my batter so thick, or why is it so thin? Well, it could very well be because of the size of the eggs that you use. You have no control over that, but you do have control over what the batter looks like and now how you can fix it with just a little splash of milk. Also, when you're adding an egg to this particular recipe, many, if not all, baking recipes ask you to begin with room temperature eggs, room temperature butter, room temperature milk, whatever liquids come from the fridge, they want you to make sure that it's room temperature. And I always agree with that, with the exception of this particular recipe. We want it to stay cold, cold, cold. So right when you're making your recipe, and I hope that you'll make these, reach for a cold egg when it's the exact time for you to put that egg in your batter. Just a tip, just trying to help you out. Oh, I hope you enjoyed these Crumbl chocolate chip cookies. They're huge. They're the biggest cookies in general. I was gonna say the biggest chocolate chip cookies, but they are the biggest cookie period I have ever made. They are absolutely delicious. They are crispy and beautiful and buttery on the outside, and you break them open and they are just soft and gooey and beautiful and chocolatey. They are truly a spectacular cookie that I hope will find their way into the cookie jar in your kitchen for the next time you have some guests over, or maybe if you just want to make some yourself. You know, I will tell you, if you don't want to make your cookies quite this big, you don't have to. Just go ahead, follow the recipe, whether it's for the smaller recipe I made today or the full recipe, which will be below, and just make a regular size chocolate chip cookie. You will still get that Crumbl bang. Oh, that delicious cookie for your buck. I promise you, this might be the last chocolate chip cookie recipe you ever look for. A beautiful day and a beautiful cookie. What could be better? Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys soon. Lord bless.